Hey there, I'm Danny Diesel, and welcome to the garage. The bike we're looking at today is a 1981 Honda CM 400T. This is a great bike. I actually like the CM series. Everyone puts their money and time into CVs, but the CMs are actually really good bikes. So this 400 series was made, I think, around 79 to maybe 81, something like that. It was only about a 3-year window. But it was very close to a 60s cafe bike in that outside of the risen seat in the back, it was a flat bike, real simple, low to the ground, and just very basic as far as bike goes. Now, the interesting part too is that these 400s came in 4 different models. You could buy the 400A, which is an automatic, and I've got a couple of those in the shop with their bigger engines. You could get it in the C, which was the custom. You could get it in the E, which was the economy, and then this is a T, which is the touring edition, which again, not a bad bike. It can go 0 to 60 in like 6 seconds. It's got a top speed around 70, 80 miles an hour. But this is a really interesting bike because other features about this bike include electric start plus a kickstart. It had a CDI system in it, so it only had a battery just to get it started. Otherwise, it could run on no battery at all. Great bikes to run around in, and the electric system was self-contained, so you didn't really need anything beyond that. This particular bike came out of Kentucky. A friend of mine found it about a month ago, and I bought it sight unseen, not knowing anything about it. Of course, it rolled in. What we have here is a pristine example of this year bike. Now, it was an 81. It was sold from the dealership according to the title in 83. It was licensed in 83, and it never exceeded 83, which is probably why it's only got 860 miles on it. So it's a beautiful little bike, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it before you try to make decisions on bidding or buying. When I took receipt of the bike, it was pretty evident pretty quickly to me that I couldn't do anything with this bike. It was way too nice, and it really belongs with somebody who's more of a collector, aficionado, really enjoys these types of cruisers and wants to bring it back to its original condition or something along those lines. And with this mileage, someone can buy it, do some adjustments to it, and then boom, they've got a 10-year bike out of it. So me, I like to chop them up and do some crazy shit to them. So as a result, this wouldn't be the bike for me. So all I've done to it so far is I had dropped oil into the cylinders for a 24-hour period. I didn't want to mess anything up in terms of trying to start it, and I had to figure out if this thing ran. Drain the oil or the gas from the bowls. It had no gas in the tank at the time. Put in some fresh gas, oil and filter, and that was pretty much it. So this hasn't been started in a month or so, but yep, looks okay. Yeah, that's a no choke start, but it's controlled temperature in here. We'll get you closer for a look at that. As you can see, all the lights work. Well, everything should. It's got so few miles on it. So that's all I've done to it. It really is a great bike. All right, so if anybody, if you're interested in purchasing this as a first-time bike buyer, a few things I would do to an old bike like this before I actually got on it and trusted myself to go down the road in it. First, I would definitely get new tires. I don't do a lot of the retro-style tires, but I'm sure somebody would know how to get them and replace them. I do love the tires that are on these original bikes. They're beautiful. Not something that I typically use on my bikes, but I would definitely have those replaced. I would go ahead and replace all the rubber on it, which isn't a lot. We're talking about drain hose, we're talking about fuel line, and maybe even the line off of the top here that acts as the PVC release. Other than that, I would probably drain the front brake and go ahead and just pull the caliper apart, re-grease everything since it's been sitting for so long, and then just go ahead and reassemble that. You may or may not want to put new pads in it. Like I said, 860 miles, but as long as you're in there, it just makes sense to go ahead and do that. I'd go ahead and grease all the wheel bearings, pulling those rods off and doing that. Just repack them, are probably fine, but again, you don't want to take any risks with it. And then, let's see, in addition, I'd probably go ahead and, because I don't know if this person actually took it in for the 600-mile check-in or if they did not. So as a result, there is a chain tensioner release here that has to be done while it's idling. And then of course I'd pop the top and I'd go ahead and check the lashing on the cam just to make sure that everything's in line there. But I mean, it is what it is. It's just not a heavy lift bike. It's a really fun bike. We've got a couple of them in the shop that we're working on, but we're hacking those into choppers and some other things. It does have, it looks like it's been stored in the garage the entire time. There's no burn or wear on any of the paint. What I do see are small chips here and there. You know, just stuff that, and these old Honda signs, you know, the black starts to kind of just peel away from some of those. So it's got some cosmetic things on it, but nothing serious. All the kind of things that I would expect from a bike like this that wasn't pristinely stored, but it did make it in a garage for a long period of time because there's just, you know, all the stuff I'd expect to see on an outdoor bike is really not here. There's obvious aging on the clear coat that they tend to cover these with, so it could be polished up or buffed up, but other than that, the chrome looks really good. I'm sure it's got its fair share of small areas where it's starting to see some acne. The tank looks good. Like I said, this is, you know, you could be in and out of updating this thing and have yourself a 10-year bike for a very minimal amount of money. So anyway, good luck. I hope this helps, and feel free to request anything else you need to see about it.